Welcome to the Unknown Podcast with Chris Bloom, Ubong, and Mario Thompson. Enjoy.
Alright, something drastic happened during the weekend, and so in honor of the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton, I think it would be best we start off this podcast by taking a 1 minute or 30 seconds moment of silence in his honor.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. To the late Bobby Charlton, may he still rest in peace.
Amen.
He will forever be remembered for his legacy he left behind. We would always, honor that memory.
Obviously, we can't question that or doubt his impact.
Yeah, what he did,
be remembered.
what he did for England and Man United was awesome.
It's not even just that. What his influence in the entire game, itself worldwide is immense. All right. So we had an amazing weekend of football. International break was over, and we returned back to normal programming. But there's something that stood out as always. It's United. Everybody scores. Everybody but the forwards in United. Right? So in the Premier League, there's been no goal from Martial, there's been no goal from Holland, and there's just one lone goal from Rashford. Our highest goal scorer is apparently Casemiro, a midfielder, a defensive midfielder. And right next to him is the newly awakened Mark Sauce, Scott McTominay. And our strikers have continued to go along without scoring. The goal drought is across board, across all forwards. What do we think? What do you think is the cause of that?
Yeah, I think the team is going through a difficult period. They are trying to find their A game, and they are finding it difficult to link up. If you watch the Sheffield game, you can see United struggling. So I think season goes on.
So for me, I think it's a combination of poor finishing at times, and especially from Rashford has been the main culprit when it comes to finishing. He's not been at his best when it comes to finishing chances. The chances whereby it's either he has to make the final pass or he needs to release the ball on time, but it's just been lacking. Højlund, we can't question his quality. He went on international break, he banged in the goals. Rashford also went on international break, he banged in the goals. So I just feel with time the goals would come, but how much of creativity do Man United have is what I'm looking at this point in time. So aside Bruno from the midfield, there's not so much. Okay, look at Bruno, look at Eriksen. There's not so much creativity you can look at that is going to be consistent over time. I still feel United need to add one more midfielder. Oh, sorry, I forgot Mason Mount because Mount hasn't chilled. I forgot that guy.
It's very easy to forget Mason Mount.
I forgot Mason Mount because it's not even the guy's not even gel. I just feel you just need one of the strikers to be on top form. And Rashford looks like the ones that owns the key to the attack at this point in time. Because if Rashford would always have that streak where he keep banging in goals and he keep banging in goals. It would but at this point the whole attack is not working. The midfielders are popping up with the goals, defenders are popping up with the goals. And it's actually good when you can actually have it's a good and bad thing when your strikers are not scoring and midfielders are scoring. But it's, in the long run, it's not sustainable for defenders or midfielders to keep scoring because they can't carry you all the stretch of the season. At one point in time, Hoyland would come good, Rashford, yes, would come good, Anthony Martial will not come good. You can't bank on him, you can't call on him.
So I think for Rashford's case, I think it boils down to poor decision making, right? Many a time this season we've seen him, not being able to sort out his feet. Then he's been making very rash decisions as whether or not to pass the ball or to hit the ball. I think there was a clear opportunity for him to, one-on-one with the keeper, and he wanted to just lay it off to Bruno, and then the defender caught up with the ball. So I feel like it's two things: it's poor decision making, and then that lack of confidence, coming from him. He doesn't know whether or not if he hits the ball and he doesn't score, then the fans will probably drag him for not laying the ball over to Bruno Fernandes to tap it in. So he's just in his head way too much, and then he's missing all these chances. But we can't even blame Rashford because when you bring in Garnacho, right, you see the spark, you see the passion, you see the energy, but you just see a child, basically, right? You see someone with very little experience. When he's on the ball, he's not making much impact. He's just probably losing the ball as quick as he's getting it. I think it would be a lot easier for Anthony to come out banging than it would be for Rashford at this point in time. This is because it looks to me like Rashford is becoming heavily marked. Previous games, you would see 2-3 defenders, and then the next thing he does is just taps the ball back. He's not forward thinking anymore, or like we used to know, and that's becoming a problem. But we did have amazing goals in that game. Dalot with the screamer, his first goal for Manchester United this season.
The past weekend we had many amazing goals, like left, right, and center. They were goals.
True.
They were like killer goals. I can't leave out Modric goal. In fact, this weekend he was basically Declan Rice. So this week he was basically like he had like some worldies even in the EPL. There's some very nice goals. And just newsflash, Tottenham are currently leading 2-0.
Yeah, they've added another one.
Yeah, Madison. So my FPL is looking good. Yeah. My FPL is looking good with Madison.
Okay, so let's move on to the Chelsea-Arsenal game. Right.
Yeah.
That's one for the headlines. Chelsea had that game in the bag.
It's one for the headline because Chelsea did the magic in the game.
The magic being self-destructing.
Yeah, and it will happen. it will happen with a team that is coming up. It's bound to happen.
Yeah,
Can't
I
really-
think
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mario.
I think Chelsea started the game well. They had chances. They had penalties scored by Palmer. They had control in the game. You can see Chelsea playing with passion, but it was just lack of concentration, and I think the coach made some wrong changes. You understand? If not, they had the game in bag. They were playing well until
So Mario,
What is his
when
name?
you say wrong changes, so what would you consider to be the wrong changes in the game?
Okay, the game, when you are playing a game and the game is working perfectly for you, you are leading 2-0, you are playing towards the end of the game. If you are changing a striker, you are not supposed to bring another striker, you're supposed to bring another midfielder.
Be there,
So
Mario.
you said,
Yeah, go on.
yeah. So I feel.
Yes.
Yeah, Mario, continue.
Yeah, so I feel he should have dropped, what's his name? Palmer. Palmer has already had a good game. Take off Palmer, bring in another midfielder. You play two up front. You play Sterling and Mudryk. Mudryk and Sterling, they have pace for counter. So in case any chance is coming for Chelsea, they can hit Arsenal on the counter. So just rash changes, and they lacked concentration. Their goalkeeper also, oh my God, he was having a good season, Sanchez, until he made a mistake for Declan Rice to bounce on. So I think just a little bit mistake from them. I think they will go on.
Like I said, I'm going to hold on to my claim when I say, if you're buying a ball playing goalkeeper, errors come with the package. It's follow.
Yes, definitely.
It comes
Definitely.
with, it's like look at all ball playing goalkeepers. That outer of error would always be there in their game to give a misplaced.
But we don't
pass.
see the same with Ederson.
Ederson doesn't have as much as all others. It could be the way City play, where they have a lot of control, and even if you are trying to press them, they are comfortable with the press. But if you look at all others, if you look at Alisson, if you look at Ramsdale, if you look at every other of those ball playing goalkeepers, they always have that follow come in them. Onana, come on, you can't. So and for Sanchez is not really good on his feet. It's just because he's playing for a top team and they expect you to play out from the back, and that's why. So it's not the first time Sanchez is actually making that error. In other games, he has made those errors, but he has actually been lucky with them. And for this game, it just turned out that goal changed the whole momentum of the game. Football is a game of moment. One moment can decide the whole game, and that was the moment that Arsenal needed. He made that error, Declan Rice scored, and momentum shifted over to Arsenal. They kept on pressuring Chelsea. Chelsea could not withstand it. Before you know, the second equalizer. Before then, Jackson had his chance, fluffed it. Palmer, which is one of the star guys to watch out for this season, Palmer had his chance. Palmer got his goal. So I just feel the game was a game of moment, because if Jackson had scored that, but the chance he had before Arsenal equalized, the game would have obviously taken a different turn. But he missed that chance. Palmer also missed his own. Arsenal had their own. Arsenal only had, I think, about 3 shots on target, thereabout. Before Declan Rice goal, Arsenal had 0 shots on target.
Yeah. I couldn't recognize the team in the first half.
So exactly, they had 0 shots, and they got the opportunity. Declan Rice scored. Before you know, the momentum just shifted over to Arsenal. And when Havertz came on, he was winning everything in the air. He was literally dominating Cahill and Thiago Silva in the air, bringing down the ball. So those moments in time in that game, when Chelsea did not take their chances and Arsenal had theirs, It was just like a smash and grab. Have a chance, take it. Have a chance, take it. And that was how the game ended 2-2. It was hard on Chelsea because obviously they deserve more in that game, but it's football. I don't want to talk about the referee side, the VAR, the issue of Saliba was in the natural position, and about that. The Sanchez foul on Gabriel. I don't want to talk about it because VAR always, like I said, I tweeted this out this evening. I said the Premier League refereeing body would have to send more apology letters this season than ever before, because it's like a recurring decimal. Every match game is an apology letter. So how long will it continue? So that's just it for me.
Oh well. While Chelsea was able to hold down Arsenal, Liverpool had an amazing game. Salah with 2 goals. It's looking like Salah might end up going for the most goals this season.
I think that will not be the case. We all know Erling Haaland will bounce back. He's just missing Kate. Erling Haaland will bounce back. I think Erling Haaland is having a bad time scoring. He will get his mojo back. As soon as De Bruyne is fit, he will start scoring.
Is there an ETA on that yet? When De Bruyne returns, is there any ETA on that?
I don't really know, but I think it will not be more than next month because he has been out for, I think, close to a month. It will not be more than next month. He'll be back.
But you also need to understand that with KDB's age, these injuries will become very frequent, and I'm sure Pep is already preparing to replace him already.
Yeah, another exciting player that can create more for City is Doku. We can see the spark he brings to City in the wide area. He does things that
you know who Doku reminds me of.
Who's that?
Doku reminds me of
Old Sterling.
Not even Old Sterling. This guy, Maximan.
Oh,
Saint
Maximan
of Newcastle. Exactly the same way he plays. He's just all these just shake here. And before you know, he beats you.
But
shake
yeah.
here.
But it actually works.
Yeah, anyone playing now. It's just like they don't have pattern to the dribbling. Anyway, they'll just shake their body, shake their leg, twist their leg.
The player you are talking about, Saint Maximin, when Manchester United played Newcastle, I think it was last season.
Yeah.
He had a good game. But his problem was Wan-Bissaka was the one marking him, not Diego Dallo. So he's playing well. He's playing well.
I think the difference is that Doku has Pep.
Okay.
Maximin didn't. So with Pep, we are sure that all of that gra will be finessed. All of that sharpness around the edges would be, at some point brought down, and you would see him playing some amazing football. Even Pep is excited about, what the future holds, for Doku. So I don't think that will be a problem. The issue will probably be Grealish seeing less and less and less minutes, as the season goes by.
You have to up your game. That's it. If a player is bought in for £10 million and a player is bought in for £100 million, if the £10 million player is doing better, but as a coach, what will you do? You don't have to ignore the facts. You have to play him. For example, you can see that Rashford is dropping. His form level is dropping. You will see more of Garnacho because right now Sancho is out of the blue. You will see more of Garnacho. You see sometimes they will take Rashford off 60 minutes, 70-minute mark to bring in Garnacho. That's it.
But it's not like Garnacho does anything amazing when he comes on. So it's like
Garnacho, we all know we all know Garnacho has that, how will I put it, that force. Whenever he comes in, he takes on defenders, trying to create. Garnacho is not a selfish player.
It's the same force that Doku has. It's the same force that Maximin have. It's that speed,
Yes.
separation.
Yes, he always
one.
takes players on, try to square the ball. But you don't see Rashford do that. Whenever Rashford is dribbling, he's dribbling just to entertain. That's what I think. He needs to stop that. I don't know. They don't. It's maybe people around him don't tell him this.
Are you sure Rashford is dribbling to entertain? I would actually think Anthony dribbles to entertain, not Rashford.
Anthony dribbles to entertain. Rashford. Okay, what's the point of you dribbling when you have a man in good position for you to lay the ball for him to score?
Chris already said this already. Rashford issue is just decision making.
Yes, football is a team game. Even if you are not the one that scores, it's a team game. I think all credit goes to the entire team, not a specific player. Although maybe a specific player can do well and they give him more praise, but it's a team game. So you should try and play a team game, not an individual game.
Anyways, let's see what happens in the UCL this week. Hopefully we see some good results coming out from him. I think he's being, I don't know, somehow someone told him he has to become more technical or something. You see him trying to be more technical on the ball. You see him making some large passes and hitting the ball differently. Like he's trying to add his spin here and there. He's being too technical and overthinking things. But let's move on to the Derby and Brighton. Their losing streak continues. It's 5 games now. They've lost. They lost to Man City. At some point in the game, it looked like they were going to, get a draw.
Get a draw.
Yeah. So, of course, Pep wouldn't let that happen. So the game ended in favor of City, and the Derby lost key players. First 30 minutes into the game, he lost Welbeck to injury.
Yeah.
In the second half, he lost March. And March is apparently standing in for another player in that position. So it's going to be dark weeks, for Brighton.
Yeah, but I feel for Brighton, it's a very poor run of form, considering the kind of football they play. But I feel the next 2 games obviously provides them with a chance to bounce back. And guess who they are playing next? On later in the week,
Yes, Europa League game.
They're playing Ajax, and who's best to pick up from? With if it's not Ajax, like Ajax are on a mad run. Like no team wants to be on the run.
Do you know
right
Ajax?
Now.
Can you imagine? They're giving Ajax 8 odds.
Yes, odds?
8
odds, and they still
for Ajax. Win. For Ajax to win, 8 odds.
Yeah, then a slump, a very massive slump.
I think that's possible. I think that's possible.
But these are teams that are trying to find their bearing at the moment.
Yeah.
So it can go either way.
Yes. It will not be a one-side game.
I feel Brighton have a better chance considering their coach. But let's see. Ajax, they just sacked their manager today. So let's see if the new manager bounce would actually work for them. But we know what Brighton can do. We know what they can offer.
I don't know why team does this. Now, Ajax has so many players, we all know that, of which they have sold those players. And you don't have the quality you once have in your team. They don't expect magic. They also brought in new players which have not linked up well, clicked. So you don't expect magic. The only old players I know they have in that team is what's it called, Bromby. They have Begwin in midfield. They have
But if you know Ajax, right, Mario, if you know Ajax, the bedrock of Ajax's football is it's on their academy. They want to sign. Theirs is like they provide that channel to bring in players from the academy, and they come into the first team. Then they sell them. They always believe that they'll have a pipeline of good players.
Yeah, that's their
yeah. They just buy.
Yeah,
They just get a few. They get a few players from outside just to beef the team. But the bedrock is strictly on the Ajax academy. That's like the foundation of whatever they are doing. And for them, it's develop these guys and sell them. Develop these guys and sell them. Buy, and that's what Brighton is also doing also right now at this point in time. Just that Brighton are dependent on their scouting network, get players from obscure leagues for cheap fees and sell them at a higher fee. That's simple. So for Ajax, I don't know. Yes, they sold players, or maybe they didn't get enough players, quality players from the academy, or even the players they've added have not really gelled and lived up to expectation at this point. Chuba Akpom has not delivered. He barely gets it in.
Ajax sold Anthony for £85 million, the most expensive player in the history of Dutch league. What did they do with that money? They have to buy.
You can also say Man U did not pay the money complete now. The money will come in batches.
Yes, but they sold Mohamed Kudus. They sold Bassi to Fulham. They sold so many players, of which they were able to generate funds. They didn't make any quality signing. They only bought.
It's any excuse for them.
Yes.
I don't think that's it. Like
The funds is not the issue.
Their ethos of operation is not in buying big players. It's not in buying big players. It's building the academic line, and so that's what they are hoping to do still. And they feel like
Even if
the issue right now is just getting a good coach to drive that. That
yes,
ethos.
that's correct. They maintain on building their team from the academic, but you also sold players. You have to put in some experience also, 2 or 3 players experience that match the standards of the team, of which they did not do that.
But regardless,
I don't mean they should buy a big player. They can get a smaller player. That's what Brighton does. They look for players that have the passion, the zeal to play. You get them. Small amount of money, £10 million, £7 million, £8 million, and they end up doing well. So I think they should, if the strategy they are using isn't working for them right now, I think they should try and change their strategy, because for a team like Ajax, losing week in, week out is abnormal. It's abnormal.
Well, regardless, though, there's one thing we cannot dismiss. We cannot dismiss the fact that they have Europa experience. They have European football experience, and so it's imperative to put that into consideration, and that they might not give Brighton that leeway, to boss the game around, and so we might just end up seeing them winning the game. This might even be the turnaround that they need, as much as Brighton needs it.
Obviously, they have the European experience over Brighton, so that should count for something for Ajax.
It should.
I hope so.
It should. Now let's talk about the people who have apparently refused to stop scoring. The boys in black and white. Newcastle United. We thought that whole 8-0 thing was just 8 goals was just once in a lifetime thing with Newcastle, but they've seemingly continued in that same light. And it's amazing to see. Actually, it's not looking like a fluke anymore, like we predicted in the early part of the beginning of the season. It's looking like they are more grounded now into what it is they want to achieve this season. And so, is it possible that we're going to change? Do you guys see yourself changing your prediction for the top 4?
did I not tip Newcastle to be in top 4? Or I said top 6?
Yeah,
Or
top
Europe?
6, yeah.
Top 6, yeah. No, I'm still
Okay.
I'm not gonna change it. I'm still gonna maintain that.
Yeah. I think the players, the work Eddie Howe has done with Newcastle is exceptional. The weight of players he has blended together, the way they play with hunger and passion. They play as if they want to win. They don't play, how will I put it? They don't play to sit back and wait. No, Newcastle play attacking football.
Yeah, there's a belief in the team. There's a strong belief now in the team.
You see, they're up front. The young guys, they are doing it very well. You see them taking off Isak, bringing in Wilson. You see them taking off Ashley Barnes, bringing in Gordon.
Yeah.
You see them taking off Almiron. They have replacement
in the squad depth.
Yes. And their midfield is also exceptional. You see Sandro Tonali, you see Bruno Gomes, you see Jolinton. They are doing a nice job. You know what amazed me about Newcastle? Their left back, Dan Burn.
Yeah.
The guy is huge, and you don't see them playing. And yes, he's very huge, and he doesn't have pace. And I don't see any game of which he has performed below expectation. Yeah. So when Manchester United played Newcastle, I was expecting Rashford to take on Dan Burn, Anthony also to take him on with pace, but it didn't work that way. The guy marshalling them left, right, and center.
He'll bring you down before you get past him. He'll bring you down first before you get past him.
Yes. They're able to exploit because he's not fast. So he focuses more on positioning. Yeah. If you're able to exploit him and isolate him with a very fast player, that's the only way you can beat him. And if not, he's going to pull you down. But if he's on a yellow card, you have an advantage. And that's why there are games whereby we've seen Eddie Howe take him off at some point in time when he feels that he's been exposed in the second half or he's with a yellow card. So that's the only way to really exploit. He doesn't have pace, but he focuses more on his positioning. Just similar to what we have with when Matasaka was still playing active football. He can't run to save his life. But what he focuses on is his positioning. He tries as much as possible to hold his space and maintain that positioning, and that's what he used to please it. That's what he uses for his game.
Sure. You hardly catch Dan Burn out of position. You don't see him overlapping so much and leaving that place open. But I also think with Crystal Palace, I think it's more or less because of their injuries. I mean, the midfield, they were lacking their creative players, and so there was not much that could be done up forward. It was just a very draggy game for them. They could hardly stay in the game, when it seemed like they had a chance to go ahead and, draw one goal back. Newcastle had more goals in the chambers to dish. And they were just sinking until, they couldn't do it anymore. With Olise out, with Eberechi Eze out, Schlupp is out. Yes. There's not much going on in that midfield, for Crystal Palace.
That's it. They can't deny the fact they're missing their top players at this point in time, and it's gonna count. You can't be missing Olise, Eze, and you feel it's not going to affect your game. Nah, it's most definitely will. It will.
Yeah, so I hope they get better. But whenever they are playing United, also they have the way to get past us. So I hope Newcastle get better. What's it called? Crystal Palace. I hope they play more. They play better.
Before we move away from EPL, let's talk about the Sunday fixture. Emery and Aston Villa. I mean, if you watch that game, it was amazing football from start to finish, from both sides. West Ham had an amazing outing. Aston Villa had an even better outing. This is their fifth consecutive victory. Um, it was wonderful to watch Watkins. The energy, the speed in his legs, either foot, even though his left leg was the weaker foot, the energy he used, the speed the ball had in that game, to score that goal, it was. I screamed when I watched it. I screamed so loud. You think something it was amazing. I was shocked that,
There's no doubt about the quality Aston Villa possesses. From the defense to the midfield to the attack to the goalkeeper itself. You can see a team like Aston Villa signing Pau Torres, signing players from the Bundesliga also. They bought in, what's his name? I just forgot his name right now. Diaby. They brought in Diaby from Leverkusen. He's doing a nice job.
Yeah,
you see them linking up. Yeah, see them linking up. And they also have squad depth. You can see them. They have Douglas Luiz. They have Tielemans. In that their midfield, they have Jacob Ramsey. They have John McGinn. You can see the quality. They have Kamara. You can see the quality they have in the midfield, up front. I think they will do a nice job also this season. As the season goes on, I think they are a team also to watch. Don't take your eye off them. They will do a nice job this season. And all credit goes to the coach, Unai Emery.
Like I said, when that Aston Villa might just typically depict a typical Unai Emery's team. Fast and quick in attack, and they hit you hard. And I just feel, yeah, like Mario said, they've done the right addition. They've done the right addition this season, and it's an Emery team. Unai Emery team would always attack you. Like when they want to attack you, they would always attack you, and they will score goals. Remember when Unai Emery was asked how would he prefer a 1-0 win to a 5-4, and Emery said he would prefer a 5-4 win. That was when I knew that this guy is all for attack. So that's what comes with an Emery team, all for attack. So yes, they have a lot. They're in a good mood at this point in time. They would have their downside in the season, which they had sometime last season. But if you look at the stats, Unai Emery, I think in terms of results, I think Unai Emery is up there with Arsenal and Manchester City in terms of winning in turn of the year. I can't remember, but I know he's either second or third in terms of win at the turn of the year. So it means they're doing something good, in terms of their performance.
All right. Let's move on to outside EPL. All right. Let's talk about the chosen one, and AS Roma. Mourinho received yet another red card, as always. His usual team. He received yet another red card in the game against was it who was it? Monza. Yeah. And that was because he was taunting the opposition after El Shaarawy scored that late goal to give them the win, and he was given a red card for that, and so he will be missing the next game against Inter Milan. But I remember 2 weeks ago we talked about Roma, and we talked about how the team is slumping and all of that stuff, but it's seemingly different now 2 weeks after, right? You see the whole team seemingly united. They are walking towards the same goal and they're getting results. Like every typical Mourinho's team, regardless of how they get to the end, how they get the win, they don't care. just that they get the win. And we saw that happening again. It looks like Roma's season may just have turned around, would you say?
So for me, what has changed basically is I would say what has changed, Chris, from the last time we had this discussion about Roma is they've had yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on.
We can hear you.
So what has changed is they've had a change. They've had a good run of form. They've been able to win some games, get some wins in the bag, regardless if they are late wins, if they are Navy ending of Navy wins. They've been able to get that wins. And what does winning do to you? It gives you confidence. We've seen that with Chelsea. They've had about 2 straight wins, and you can see the confidence in their play. And that's what continuous winning games continuously, and that's what it does. That's what it does to your game. It boosts your confidence. It pumps your players up. When they go into the game with knowing that they can win. And that's what's happened with Mourinho. And typically, Mourinho would always be Mourinho. People are saying Mourinho should grow up. Oh, come on. He makes it fun. Those things he says, regardless of why, it brings that excitement to the game. It just shows you that football is not just football. Football is a game of passion. And when you see him, it's because he's into the game. He's into what happens around him. And Mourinho won't take insults without firing back. You saw his comment to this guy, this Sevilla player that was recently banned for drug. You saw what he told the guy, right? So that's what you get from Mourinho. That's part of Mourinho's package. It comes with him. If you tell Mourinho something and Mourinho doesn't fire back, then there's an issue. I'll be very concerned. But for Roma,
it comes with the drama.
Exactly. But for Roma, this would obviously help them in the course of the season. Obviously, it would propel them and push them to getting more victories.
Yeah, they're barely 3 points away from Napoli in the 4th position on the table, and it's seeming like they can edge their way into the top 4 if they continue this great run of form. Another thing that was evident in that game was El Shaarawy's reaction to his goal. So after he scored, he was in tears. Not because the goal he scored was amazing or anything like that, but because he was also among the players accused for the whole betting illegality and all. And so he shed a tear, reinforcing his innocence, right? And so he gave a comment saying that he loves the game way too much, to do that. And so hopefully we can get more clarity as regards the whole betting allegations, and some of these players will probably have some sort of relief, because it looks like they're playing with so much weight on their shoulders. The same thing with Tonali. So you see their coaches coming to that.
I see that Tonali thing. When I don't want to talk about it because it just pisses me off. We're just watching Premier League Association, just observing them, because it's more or less like one person is feigning the victim. If you compare it to what happened to Ivan Toney.
Yeah. I was going to come to that.
They are both. These are cases that they are similar cases. There's no difference. But one is playing the victim and saying he has an addiction, and the other one said, and that one is saying he doesn't have an addiction. So he doesn't just. He's more life, no balance. Last, yeah.
It's something that happens in this new world now, as we know it. Once you come out and take that particular stance that Tonali has, done, you get empathy, right? You get some sort of leeway, and so you see people trying to move towards that just apologize and say you have an addiction, you didn't mean to do it, you're working on it, you're open to, getting better and all that stuff.
Tonali that was recruiting people into gambling. Ha! Tonali went to run gambling ring. Tonali was recruiting people into gambling.
And then
Was recruiting people.
Tony that had just, it's a lone, what's it called? It's a lone involvement, a lone activity, just him. He wasn't doing anything. There was no elaborate scam. It was just an individual placing bets, even if it was against his team or, it doesn't hurt. It's not like he can dictate how the game goes, right? And then he is now the scapegoat, and every other person is getting a pat on their back, and they're still playing games, and then he gets banned. He gets dragged on UK media like he's some pariah, like he's done something so unforgivable. And yet the next few minutes you see a sports betting ad on same UK media, right? You advertise sports betting so much.
Yeah.
They are your major sponsors. And then when players place bets, they are crucified. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, they would always follow the money, so
obviously, that's it.
So talking about victims, let's it wouldn't be right for us to end this podcast without talking about Vinicius. So according to Vinny,
yeah,
he had episode 16.
I'm not supposed to be laughing because this is a very serious issue.
Yeah, it is very serious.
For me, I think he should be used to it by now. He should just focus on his game.
You don't get used to this.
No. Let me. I'm getting somewhere. He should just stick to his game and take that off his mind, because if he's to have this on his mind, his game level will drop. You understand? And he has complained about this several times, of which it still keeps happening. And during the Sevilla game, it was just a small boy that was doing that, a small boy. So if you can imagine the mind of that boy, so I think it has already been placed on him. I don't know if you understand my point. They have already told him that these people are so people. They are not equals with us. I think he has already been taught that. So I think it's really bad.
Yeah.
Mario, are you done?
I think we lost Mario for a bit. Go on. What's your take?
Yeah, so for me and this Vinny thing, obviously the outlook of the Spanish league is they don't care about this racism of a thing. And it just seems Vinny is one target. And it's not like, I wouldn't say Vinny is the only target, because other players, they might have been abused or something, but Vinny is the one who's speaking up. Yeah. And that's why he seems to be in the media, and that's why everybody's saying, now only you.
Yeah.
It's only Vinny. It's not only Vinny, but Vinny has been the one that said he's not going to sit down or he's not going to lie down while they keep racially abusing him, and he's been speaking up, and he's going to continue speaking up, because it doesn't look like he's going to cower or he's going to bend to it. He's going to speak up and keep calling out the Spanish FA. Because from the initial first issue, you could see the outlook of the president of the FA or the Spanish La Liga. You could see his outlook right now. So it doesn't look like something that the Spanish La Liga wants to deal with head on, want to take on. And if they keep insulting Vinny will keep coming out and keep calling them out. And that's it's quite sad, like watching the whole outburst and everything. And you can see the old gimmick from Rudiger and
Ramos.
I wouldn't even pay attention to that kind of a thing because both of them they're same, they are similar players. They'll play those gimmick with you. They want to get at you, play those funny mind games while you are playing the game. So they both fit them. So when I saw what they were doing, I was like, these guys are not serious. Let them keep doing it.
Yeah,
And
I love that part of every defender. You know, Sergio Ramos, we all know he has the good, he has the bad, he has the ugly side of him. So for him to encounter Rudiger also has that ability to do such things. So
as in he has a side to his game. That's the thing.
I would have loved for them to get in on it a little more. Yes.
So I think
talking about the Vini issue, yeah. Just a quick one. I think the Spanish FA should do a lot about this, because if you all know, the Spanish national team, they have black players. They have Ike Williams' brother. They also have Ansu Fati. So if they are doing racist chants on other players, and they have black players in their own team, their national team representing them, what example are they showing to those players that are playing for them, that they can turn on them anytime? That's it. For example, Nigerians, you know, if we're playing a game and a particular player fumbles and we end up losing a big game, we will all go on that player. I think that will happen to those players also. They should also watch their backs. The likes of Fati, Ike Williams' brother, and so they should also watch their backs. That's all.
So I think the problem is, and this is not even just specifically to La Liga, you know, the Spanish FA. It's across board, right? It's worldwide. They're seemingly chalking up this whole racial abuse to banter, but it's not. You know,
exactly.
It's not. You can't compare normal football banter to being racially abused. It's not the same thing, right? And Vini is picking up on these things because he has taken that upon himself now to become some sort of an advocate, right? It's somewhat his purpose now. It's purpose, and he's not backing down on that, you know. And so he's pushing, and every slight racial abuse he sees, no matter how it might come off as small or whatnot, he would highlight it.
Yeah.
He would highlight it because in the grand scheme of things, you know, it plays a role. That's why he has episode 16. He's actually keeping tabs of each and every one of them. So probably when he builds his case, it would be elaborate enough for the FA to do something tangible. And he even called out to FIFA. He called out to FIFA ahead of 2030 World Cup, saying that, you know, things have to be put in place, and he's open to, you know, work hand in hand with FIFA, you know, to put these things in place, which is not ridiculous to request for. Like, these things are, you know how there's a finite line that is drawn when you say anti-Semitic things against the Jews, right?
Yeah.
It's a finite line. You do that and you see the repercussions coming from every angle. We saw it happen to, what's his name now? Kanye West, right?
Yes.
So that sort of punishment, or, you know, that sort of approach should be the same across board, right? Racial abuse is racial abuse, whether it's directed to any particular race. It's the same. It weighs the same, and so we need to approach it as the same. It's not just football banter. Calling somebody a black monkey, it's not football banter, you know. And so
it can never be football banter.
Can never be. There's no space for that in football. And so people talking about Vinny being acting out as the victim is just, I mean, it's crazy. We saw it happen to several England players during the
Yes,
World Cup.
the likes of Bakayo Saka, Sancho, and
Exactly.
Rashford.
We see it happening even within Manchester United. We see it happening, fans calling out the black players and stuff. Till tomorrow, it's one of the reasons why till tomorrow, Wan-Bissaka blocked out his comment section. Only a very certain few can reply or comment on his posts.
I think every footballer should have that.
But then again, they won't be able to engage with their fan base, So it's just it needs fixing. Anyways, is there anything anybody wants to add?
No,
Yeah.
I think you've captured it all. For me, Chris, you said it all the way it needs to be said. Can be put better.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
Now let's talk about the beautiful work that Leverkusen.
Javi boy.
Alonso is.
Boniface.
We talked about this early on in the season, and I think it was something that said they probably would stumble at some point, and it's looking like that's not going to happen anytime soon.
It's still early stage. We all know that.
It is,
just 2 points off.
It's
2 points. Just 2 points.
But if you watch their game, you can't help but just believe in their goal, in their purpose, in what they're trying to achieve. It's beautiful football, regardless of the results. It's beautiful football from start to finish. Amazing link-up play. Boniface made the first goal with an assist, and he gave to Frimpong.
Yeah.
And so you can't help but just somehow, somewhat root for them to just clinch that title this season.
I think it's still early stages. I will still say it. It's still early stages. Let's watch till the season. Let's watch till January and see the outcome.
Like
if they can maintain this form till January, I think they can do it then. That's all.
Because I think Bayer Leverkusen, they are putting up performances after performances. They keep telling you we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Because the fact is they've added experience and they've added quality to their team. And I just hope they keep this up till the end of the season. And I hope they don't do a Dortmund on us. If they don't do a Dortmund, I'll be fine. I'll be very, very happy with them.
And in January timeline will probably give them an avenue to bring in more players, to get better squad depth. Because the squad depth at this point is not all that encouraging. But if they can hold on to January and just do some good business, even if it's loan deals, just to seal the deal, it would be.
They should come and grab Sancho, probably on loan.
I don't think that's anything I would advise any top team chasing the title in any league.
The problem with some individuals. As an individual, you have some certain people that are above you. You understand? Let me say in work-wise position. It won't take anything from Sancho to apologize to Ten Hag, and this whole matter is over. When I was reading through this issue, some United players confronted Sancho to just apologize to the coach and everything will be over. Sancho refused to apologize. So you see, I don't think he should just remain where he is. But my problem is that they are paying him.
There's no way back for Sancho. At this point, there's no way back. Apologize or not, it's too late.
Even if you apologize now, there's no need.
Yeah,
I will come back and do what. Another thing, I'm also watching him, like they're watching, and that's why any other team would be very careful to put their money on Sancho, because I don't want a player who's gonna come in with this sort of attitude.
Yeah.
Because nowadays coaches are not just looking for players who have the talent; they're also looking
Yes,
at
yes, you're also looking for
your attitude. What kind
discipline.
of attitude do you bring? Will you come and disrupt the dressing room?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So teams are very, very careful to put their hand on him. Is somebody like Mourinho that can take him on and say, yeah, come in, because Mourinho might have magic of working with those kind of players.
Oh well, I wish him all the best. Manchester United took. They had the team photo shoot, official team photo shoot, and it was not included.
So there's nothing you are telling. There's no way back for that man.
That case is closed. It's closed. All right, still outside EPL. PSG had an amazing game on Sunday. Mbappe had a brace, yeah. They won 3 goals to 0. It looks like they're back to typical form. Would you say?
I hope so for them, because I'm finding it difficult to understand how they lose some matches with the caliber of players they have. They have good defense, good midfield, good attack. They also brought in some good talents in the likes of Ousmane Dembele, Koulibaly, Gonzalo Ramos. They have squad depth also. Have great players. I don't know what's wrong with them, with the league they are in. They are not supposed to lose some matches. If they are in the EPL, I would say, oh, they're in the EPL. The EPL drama is too much. So I think they should improve on their gameplay, but it's still early stages. You all know they brought in a new coach. Maybe they are still trying to adapt to his style of play. But I think they should try and do more better.
So just to correct something I said earlier, Mbappe scored a lone goal. He had an assist. Yeah. So it was 1 goal and 1 assist. Yeah, okay. What's your take?
Yeah, for me, I've not been impressed with Luis Enrique, because I expected more like antecedents now with Enrique.
Yeah.
And coming to the PSG team, and they've not really been winning in La Liga winning in League One is normal for PSG, and they've not even been mind blowing. Like they've not blown any team out of the waters, and you say PSG they've blown any team, and it's just like normal PSG. If PSG win in League One, it's normal.
Yeah,
when you expect
there's no strong opposition.
Yeah, the Champions League, gosh, Newcastle embarrassed you, for fuck's sake. Like you're literally embarrassed, and actually it was no fault of anybody but theirs only, because of the formation they started to play against Newcastle. They underrated Newcastle and they got whitewashed. So I look forward to see how they would cope in Europe. Hopefully they make it out of the group stage and see how Enrique rub shoulders with the big boys. That's where I really want to see them. They'll probably at one stage in time win League On, or in the Champions League is where I really want to see PSG exert that authority, that because of the kind of caliber of players they've not. It's just a mix of young players and a few experienced players. Because who's there in the midfield for PSG? You have Vitinho,
Ingete.
Oh my God, who be that? Who be that? That's what I'm talking about, please. That's the thing I'm saying here. If they really need to, maybe in January, they need to beef that midfield up with experienced quality players, like players that would support. Yeah, the guy from not Benfica, the guy from Sporting Lisbon.
Dirty.
You get it? Yeah, obviously it's good when it comes to doing the dirty job, but going forward is where they really need to look at. The attack is complete. You don't need to touch that attack. That attack is fire on its own. They will run you at any point in time. But that midfield, that's where the jury is actually out on them.
Oh well, Tottenham's game is over, and they won.
Top of the league.
They're top in the league, easy. Yeah.
How far will it last?
As long as
That's what we're looking at. How far will it last?
till next week at least.
Who do they play next week?
Sorry?
Who do they play next?
Let me quickly check that. The next fixture would be.
Oh, they're gonna win. Oh no. They're gonna win. They're playing Crystal Palace. They play Crystal Palace and they go to. Then they play Chelsea at home. They'll beat Chelsea at home, obviously. They'll beat Chelsea at home. They don't have any top team till the 3rd of December when they go to Man City.
I don't think Tottenham. I don't think Tottenham will come beat Chelsea.
I think the Aston game would also test them a bit.
I think with the end fair, let me say draw.
They play Aston Villa when they play Man City.
You ran Chelsea off too often. You ran them off easily. You said you guys are going to win. I told you. You. You can remember. I told you that Chelsea was supposed to win, but just that concentration they lacked towards the end of the game. I think Chelsea will do a good job even against Tottenham, because you see these Chelsea boys. The thing that I observe from them is that when they are playing a big side, you understand, a big side that they compose, they play well. But whenever they are playing a smaller side, they find it difficult mostly. So you can't just win them easily. They will do a better job there that day.
One reason why Tottenham will beat them, because Tottenham is a small team.
Tottenham is not a small team.
I'm just joking. Well, let's see how it goes.
Yes,
I think the onus is on Chelsea actually to win that game, just because Tottenham would not know what to expect. Like, nobody knows what to expect from Chelsea, right? You can't confidently just see what their top 11 would be. You don't know what their game plan would be, because even Pochettino doesn't even know what his game plan would be, in the next game. So it's on them to win that game, actually. I mean, Bissouma would not be playing, so maybe there would be some chaos in the midfield, something they can latch on and use to their own benefit. But
we wait to see. Fingers crossed.
So I'll just go around. We'll do final talk before we call it a week for the podcast.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the Inter Milan game.
Okay, there's something you want to talk about? Go on.
Yeah, Inter Milan, they are doing a fantastic job. Lautaro Martinez has 11 goals already. He's on fire. Also, Marcos Thuram, they brought in free transfer. It's a good business for them. He's also playing well. You can see the whole team, they are playing very well at this moment. So we see them as favorites for the league. Also, Juve won 1-0 this season. I think Juve and Inter Milan are the lone teams doing well currently in the entire.
Okay. How long is it?
I just have one thing. I expected what's your name, Inter Milan to do better over their game in their last match with Juventus, but sadly,
You mean AC Milan?
yeah, AC Milan. But sadly, I can't even recognize the AC Milan lineup. I look at the lineup. I look at the Juventus lineup also, and I'm like, wow, these players. Like, I don't seem to know who these players are. But I expected from that game. I expected more from AC Milan. But with the red card, you can't really blame them. With the red card, obviously, the game just turned his head over them.
I actually thought they would win the game. You know, being at home and all, San Siro, I felt like it was a given. Even though Juventus has, had a great run thus far, I felt like it was that time for them to show. I mean, it's games like this that decide, how far you go in the season. And if you can't defeat your oppositions like this, then you might not get to go. Yeah,
there's really nothing like. If you can't really step up at this point in time, then I doubt.
Well, Inter Milan is still at very close range. It's just 1 point more than AC Milan and 2 points away from Juventus. So there's still hope for things to shake up in Serie A. Napoli is seemingly getting back to their goal scoring form without a Osimhen, that is. And so, let's see how the end of year would happen in Serie A and see how best that would rearrange. All right, guys. I guess we've come to the end of this episode. It's been 1 hour of amazing insights across board. Yeah. So,
is it 1 hour already?
Yeah, it's 1 hour 30 minutes.
1 hour. Okay.
Yeah, I would say let's just take a real quick on the Champions League games prediction on the Champions League. Just a real quick one.
All right.
The top teams. Let's take a real quick one. Like for me, I see United all day. Then the Arsenal Sevilla game. Oof, that's a tough one. Yeah, I think Sevilla win or draw.
Exactly.
Sevilla is not going.
That's what I was going to say. That's why I say I will not.
Sevilla is not going to lose that game
because I don't see it's a difficult ground. If Arsenal win, they'll be very, very extremely lucky. Extremely lucky in that game.
And Bayern.
The Bayern Galatasaray game. Bayern will get the better of Galatasaray, but it will be a both team score game.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the Dortmund Newcastle all day.
This guy really believes Newcastle.
Newcastle all day. Newcastle. Then Real Madrid against Braga. Madrid all day. Then the Union Berlin Napoli game. I think that game will end up draw. End up in a draw. Then what other games we have?
So before you go on Wednesday, let's round up with Tuesday. We'll move on to Wednesday. Your Tuesday predictions. Bayern
as well.
Galatasaray.
Yeah. Bayern to win.
Manchester Copenhagen.
Straight win Manchester United.
Sevilla Arsenal.
My heart is saying Sevilla win or draw. Sorry, my head is saying Sevilla win or draw. My heart is saying Arsenal.
So I've come to realize that Arsenal fans, when they're asked to predict the game they're playing in, they will always be rooting for the other team.
Oh,
but it's a sarcastic. No. It's a very sarcastic type of.
No. For me, this game is a very tricky one because Sevilla with their antecedents in Europe. That's why I'm very skeptical about it. Like, it's not really seriously for me. I don't really have expectations going into the game. If Arsenal win, fine, but It's going to be a very difficult one. It's just going to be similar to the Chelsea game. It's going to be a difficult one. So I would say it's a draw for me. A draw.
Okay. Braga, Real Madrid.
Real Madrid to win.
Union Berlin, Napoli.
Union Berlin win or draw.
Inter Milan, Salzburg.
Straight win, Inter Milan.
Benfica with Sociedad.
Benfica with Sociedad. A draw.
So for me, see these fixtures. Funny enough, I feel like Bayern Galatasaray will end in a draw. Both teams will score definitely, but it will end in a draw. Manchester United will probably win by a lone goal, maybe, at the last minute or something. Sevilla would force a draw. Arsenal, Real Madrid will win Braga. Napoli should easily defeat Berlin. Inter Milan will definitely defeat Salzburg. Benfica will definitely defeat Real Sociedad. Now let's move on to Wednesday. On Wednesday, Thompson, Lazio, Feyenoord.
Lazio Feyenoord, I'll go for Feyenoord due to their amazing form.
Atletico Madrid, Celtic.
I'll go for Atletico Madrid, Celtic, this Champions League. I don't even think they can even make the Europa League. I think they'll finish bottom of that group.
Wow. Newcastle, Dortmund.
Newcastle all day and Isak to score.
PSG, Milan.
PSG Milan, PSG with a lone goal or 2-0 victory.
Leipzig, Krepner.
Leipzig all day. Leipzig all
Young
day.
Boys, Man City.
City all day. But I think there will be an upset either Tuesday or Wednesday.
There will be goals.
There will be goals, but there will be an upset. Especially the Inter Milan Salzburg game. I think that might be the upset. I see Salzburg winning or a big team losing to a small team.
About Barca, Shakhtar Donetsk.
Back all day.
Antwerp, Porto.
Porto.
All right. Ubongism. Feyenoord, Lazio. What's your take?
Final Lazio. Draw.
Celtic,
Score
Atletico
draw.
Madrid.
Let's go Madrid.
Newcastle, Dortmund.
Newcastle to win.
PSG, Milan.
PSG Milan. Oh, it's a draw.
A draw.
Yeah.
Shocking. Going by Milan's terrible form.
Yeah. It's gonna be a draw.
Okay.
I'm putting my neck and head on the table for
Leipzig,
this Milan team.
Krevna, Vesta.
Leipzig to win.
Young Boys, City.
City all the way. Every day.
Barca, Shakhtar Donetsk.
Barca to win.
Antwerp, Porto.
Antwerp to surprise Porto.
So I think the Lazio Feyenoord game would probably end in a draw. Celtic Atletico Madrid would probably end in a lone goal win to Madrid. It would be a close game. I think Dortmund would surprise Newcastle. There'll be goals in that game, but it could go either way. It depends on whether or not Eddie Howe gets too excited, and he plays around with the squad. PSG would definitely win Milan. There's no doubt about that. Leipzig would win. Young Boys would have their ass handed to them by Pep and the boys. Doku will have a goal. Barca would definitely win Shakhtar Donetsk, and Porto would win Antwerp by a scuffle. And so that brings us to the end of this episode 5.
Wow.
Yeah, last week I had a close one. I predicted Salah and Højlund to score.
always have a close one. That's the problem. But
When you
a
hit,
close
when you
one
hit
does not
Bruce
lead
eyes,
to a win.
nearly does not
Yes.
kill it dead. When you
I'm
hit
pre-
it, really-
Yes, I'm predicting again to score. Alexander Isak to score. I'm playing 3 players to score. Isak to score, Højlund to score, Mbappe to score.
Chris, take it to the bank.
No, I
I'm
won't.
gonna-
I
I'm
dare
gonna-
not. I dare not do that.
Mario, send me code, please.
Yeah.
Once you book this game, send me the code.
All right.
I don't have high risks
All right.
like that. All right, guys.
All right,
Okay.
guys. It's been a great one.
Hi, guys.
Great one.
Yeah.
Yes.